Hello everyone, I am Chirag Jain and I have secured All India Rank 10 in Indian Forest Service Examination 2018 and Rank 355 in Civil Service Examination 2018. My optional subject in Civil Services was Mathematics, and in Indian Forest Service it was Mathematics plus Forestry. I have consistently got good marks in mathematics. In 2017 examination of Indian Forest Service, I got 270 marks out of 400, which was highest in the country, and 327 in the civil services of that year. In this year of 2018-19, I have got 267 in forest and 310 in the civil services, and these are among the toppers. So here I am to discuss the strategy related to mathematics and give you certain guidelines on how to approach this optional subject. So first of all, for mathematics we divide the topics into two broad categories. The first ones are the conventional topics of mathematics and the second are physics related topics. Mathematics एक बहुत अच्छा optional subject है. इसमें एक सर्टेन लेवल ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिविटी, एक सर्टेनिटी रहती है. अगर हम इसको देखें सिंपल भाषा में तो एक ये हैवी इंडस्ट्री लगाने जैसा है, जिसमें जेस्टेशन पीरियड बहुत ज़्यादा है, टाइम लगेगा, एनर्जी लगेगी इसको कवर करने में, लेकिन at the same time returns would be very heavy if you have achieved that level. So we have to keep that in mind and work accordingly. It may the working of the syllabus may take a very long time, including up to 1 year. So we have to keep that in mind, but yes, it will give good returns. If we look at the toppers, many of the toppers are from the mathematics optional subject. So for mathematics we divide the topics into two broad categories. फर्स्ट are the topics जो प्योर मैथमेटिक्स और कन्वेंशनल मैथमेटिक्स से आते हैं, और सेकंड कैटेगरी है जो टॉपिक्स फिज़िक्स रिलेटेड हैं. तो पहले बात करते हैं जो कन्वेंशनल टॉपिक्स हैं मैथमेटिक्स के, जैसे लीनियर अलजेब्रा, कैलकुलस, वेक्टर, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट अलजेब्रा एट्सेट्रा. इन टॉपिक्स को हमें इस तरह कवर करना है कि अगर हम एक बहुत ही लेज़ी स्टेट में हों तब भी अगर हमें कोई क्वेश्चन करने को कहे तो हम कर सकें, एक अच्छे से समझ के, एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग करके हमें इसको करना है. और दूसरे जो फिज़िक्स रिलेटेड टॉपिक्स हैं हमें उनको ज़्यादा डीप में नहीं जाना है, क्योंकि वो कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशो उस फेवरेबल नहीं है. तो उसके लिए हमें करना है कि एक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन सेट बनाना है बुक से, उन क्वेश्चन सेट्स को अच्छे से पढ़ना है, उनको प्रैक्टिस करना है, और अगर एग्ज़ाम में उन क्वेश्चन सेट से क्वेश्चन आए तो हमें अटैम्प्ट करना है, वरना हमें छोड़ना होगा. तो मैं अब टॉपिक वाइज बात करूंगा कि मैंने उन टॉपिक्स में क्या क्या किया और क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. सबसे पहला पेपर वन में सबसे पहला टॉपिक आता है लीनियर अलजेब्रा. ये एक काफ़ी सिंपल टॉपिक है, बेसिक टॉपिक है. इसके लिए दो बुक्स मैंने की थी और ये रिकमेंडेड हैं. फर्स्ट बुक है शॉम सीरीज़ जो लीनियर अलजेब्रा से रिलेटेड है, और सेकंड पार्ट है मैट्रिसेस का पार्ट. उसको आप कृष्णा सीरीज़ की बुक से कर सकते हैं. ये दोनों बुक्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, इनसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. और फिर कैलकुलस, दूसरा टॉपिक आता है कैलकुलस. कैलकुलस इज़ रिलेटेड टू द टॉपिक कॉल्ड रियल एनालिसिस ऑफ पेपर 2. सो वी हैव टू डू दीज टॉपिक्स इन एन इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर. For that, I prefer the book by the author Malik and Arora. That is a very good book, and it covers all the topics comprehensively. Apart from that, the topics related to integrals and the differential calculus like maxima, minima, Lagrange method of multipliers, that they can be done supplementarily from the book of Krishna series. So for the calculus, I would prescribe two books. One is Malik and Arora, and one is Krishna series Differential Calculus. And then there's a third topic called Analytic Geometry. For that, people generally refer to the book by Chand Publications. That is a very good book and covers the syllabus comprehensively. One should do the topics like straight lines and shortest distance between two skew lines, plane, sphere, cone, cylinder very nicely. And the topics like hyperboloid of 1 and 2 sheets and the generating lines and associated topics, very difficult questions can be left and the basic questions can be done. So this is the third topic, and then moving on to the fourth topic called ordinary differential equations. For that, the book by M.D. Rai Singhania covers this topic comprehensively, except the Laplacian part. For that, we refer to the book called Advanced Differential Equations by the same author, M.D. Rai Singhania. And there are two books, ODE, Ordinary Differential Equation, and the Advanced Differential Equation. both of these books have to be referred to partially, and partial differential equation of the paper 2 can also be done from this advanced differential equation. I will come to this in detail when I move to paper 2. Dynamics in statics is the physics topics, and for this I would suggest that do not invest too much time, because it may take too much time and the returns may not be very good. Prepare these physics related topics from the 10 markers point of view, the compulsory questions. For that both the topics, Krishna series books are available, and the candidates may refer to those books. Finally, in paper 1 we have vector analysis. For this one should refer to the book by Shom series book. It is a very good book, but yes, you have to be intelligent enough to do the book selectively, solve the questions, back exercises, but intelligently. You have to filter out the irrelevant questions. This art of filtering out the questions will come from two things. One is reading out the syllabus and looking at the past year questions. From that you will be able to gauge the frequency of the examiner and figure out what is relevant and what is not relevant for the examination. Now we move to the paper 2. First topic is modern algebra. This is considered to be one of the most difficult topics by the candidates, but if we do it in detail, if we look at this topic, it is a very interesting topic, and for many of the candidates including me, it is one of the favorite topics. For this topic I refer to two sources primarily. One is the book of abstract algebra by Joseph D. Gallion. This is a foreign author, and second I refer to video lectures by Howard University professor Benedict Gross. For the people who find it difficult to understand this topic, these video lectures may be extremely helpful. So you can refer to this this series of video lectures and the Gallion book. They are very good sources. And for real analysis, I integrated it with the calculus of paper 1. The book is Malik and Arora. It is a very good book, and you can refer to this book and develop good understanding of this topic. Now we move on to the second topic, real analysis. I did it in an integrated manner with the calculus of paper 1. I refer to the book by Malik and Arora. It is a very good book and covers all the topics comprehensively, except the topics like maxima and minima. For that we can refer to Krishna series differential calculus. After this topic we have complex analysis. For this I refer to one book by Shom series. This is a very good book, but yes, you have to do it very selectively. You have to be intelligent enough to filter out the irrelevant topics. After this we have topic called linear programming. For this book I had certain notes in one of the institution that I attended, and they were very good, and also in a market there are various sources available for this topic. One of the coaching institute comes up with the notes, so you can refer to those. After this we have topic called partial differential equations. This can be done from the book by M.D. Rai Singhania, Advanced Differential Equations, along with the topic of Laplace transform from the paper 1. After this we have numerical analysis and computer programming. For numerical analysis we have the book by the author S.S. Shastri. It is a very good book and does not have very irrelevant content. So, I refer to that book. People may refer to different sources, but I found it very good book. And for the computer programming part, I refer to a book called Digital Electronics by Maurice Mano. It is generally taught in engineering courses, and it is a very good book and covers all the topics comprehensively. For flowcharts and algorithms, you have to refer to internet and find, because it is difficult to find these topics, algorithms and flowcharts at a particular one source. There are certain toppers, for example Nitish Kesar, he has made certain notes on this. People may refer to that. After this we have final topic called mechanics and fluid dynamics. Fluids is slightly difficult. For this I refer to a book called M.D. Rai Singhania, but I left certain topics because they were too much time taking and were not yielding any results. So, do it from 10 marks point of view, compulsory questions. And for mechanics I had certain notes and they were very good, and this topic can be done. Mechanics is doable. You have to just know simple principles, and from those principles you can solve many of the questions. Apart from that, I would like to share certain guidelines for preparing this optional mathematics. The nature of the exam is such that if you have not done any question prior to the examination, it is very difficult to solve it correctly within the examination. So, you have to do more and more practice from the standard books, and while a question comes in the exam, you should be able to gauge what is the right step for that. You do not have the time to think over it and figure out the solution. So, that will come when we will do more and more practice. So, that is what I want to say about mathematics. I will write down the resources that I have spoken about. I will write down, and people can take note of that. For paper 1, first topic, linear algebra. One book is Shom series. And the other one by Krishna series for matrices part. Then calculus. Differential calculus by Krishna series. This is for the topics like maxima and minima, Lagrange and Jacobian. After this, analytic geometry. This is by S. Chand Publications. This topic is generally an extension of what the students of mathematics do in 11th and 12th class. So, this can be done very easily. Then ordinary differential equation, the book by the same title by M.D. Rai Singhania. This is for the differential equations, and Laplace part is to be done from the same author, and advanced differential equations. Then we have topic dynamics and statics. For that, dynamics plus statics, both topics are covered in different books by the name of Krishna series. And then we have vector analysis. This is also a very easy topic and doable, and for that we refer to book by Shom series. It is a very good book and gives a good understanding of the concepts. After this, we move to paper 2. First is algebra, modern algebra. For that, I would suggest two sources. One is book abstract algebra book by Joseph D. Gallion. And then Howard lectures. Professor's name is Benedict Gross. You may search for these lectures on Google and you may find them. Real analysis I did from Malik and Arora. And this has to be integrated with calculus of paper 1. It is very difficult to do real analysis without calculus, or vice versa. Then we have complex analysis. Again I refer to Shom series for this. And but yes, for all these books there is a lot of redundancy in these books, so you have to figure out what is relevant and what is not relevant. Linear programming, I made my notes, but Krishna series book can also be referred for this. Partial differential equations, again advanced differential equations. By M.D. Rai Singhania. For numerical analysis and computer programming, this topic I would suggest book by S.S. Shastri, and for this digital electronics by Morris and Mano. Also for algorithms and flowchart, people may refer to Nitish K's blog. He got All India rank 8th in the Civil Service Examination of 2015, and his blog is also very useful. And after this, for mechanics and fluid dynamics, for mechanics people may refer to Krishna series, rigid dynamics. And for certain topics like moment of inertia and D'Alembert's principle, one may refer to Krishna series paper 1 dynamics book. It has both the topics. And for fluid dynamics, I refer to M.D. Rai Singhania book. So these are the sources broadly for mathematics, and they can be useful. Apart from that, my broad suggestion would be, if you have not done any question prior to seeing it in the examination, it will be very difficult to solve it at this time. So you have to do more and more practice, and in such a way that when you see in the question in the examination, you should be knowing the working of that question and should not be busy in figuring out the solution. So that would be my study. For this, don't just look at the previous year questions to know the frequency of the examiner, and also solve more and more questions from the books, standard books, and develop the habit of solving the questions. That would be my suggestion. Now I will broadly discuss the strategy of attempting the mathematics paper. There are 2 sections in each paper, and there are 8 questions, out of which we have to attempt 5 questions, including first and fifth from each section. That is compulsory. So since there are 5 sections and around 180 minutes for solving the paper, so broadly we get 35 minutes for solving each section. So my strategy was to devote 35 minutes for one section, and I used to attempt in this way that first and fifth questions were attempted initially, and then after solving those and after developing certain degree of flow in the examination, I used to select the rest of the questions. Generally the trend was that I used to select 2 questions from paper from section 1 and 1 question from section 2. In this way all the 5 questions were done. Initially I used to attempt all the questions that first important thing is to select the optional questions. The 3 questions are to be selected, including 2 from section 1 and 2 from one section and 1 from another section. So you have to be intelligent enough to select those questions where you can score maximum marks. After you have done selection, if you do not know any particular subsection, then please, it would be my suggestion that don't spend too much time on that, rather move on to other questions. If you have time left for this, you can figure out the solution for the remaining question. So this was my strategy. Also, at my personal level, what I have observed is, in paper 2, this is the last paper of the whole examination cycle, and people generally get tired before this paper. So my suggestion would be to solve the exam papers in such a way that you are able to simulate the whole examination process and attempt paper 2 as if it is the last paper in the test series itself. अगर हम मैथमेटिक्स की टाइमलाइन देखें कि किस तरह से प्रिपरेशन करनी है, तो मेरा सजेशन ये होगा कि प्रीलिम्स से पहले 70 to 80% सिलेबस हो जाना चाहिए और प्रीलिम्स के बाद का ज़्यादातर टाइम हमारा रिवीजन में जाना चाहिए. जो कुछ साइड के टॉपिक्स हैं वो आप प्रीलिम्स के बाद कर सकते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी ट्राई कीजिए कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सिलेबस पहले हो जाए. मैथमेटिक्स सब्जेक्ट का सिलेबस काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. Unlike the optional of humanities that can be done in 4-5 months, mathematics takes around 9 to 10 months. So ये चीज़ को ध्यान में रखते हुए आपको तैयारी काफ़ी पहले करनी चाहिए स्टार्ट. जैसे अगर जून में प्रीलिम्स है तो पिछले साल के आप सितंबर अक्टूबर से मैथमेटिक्स को स्टार्ट कर दीजिए. और सेंस ये है कि जीएस में इसका कोई ओवरलैप नहीं होता, तो आपको जीएस के साथ मैथमेटिक्स को बैलेंस करना भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टास्क है, वो भी बहुत क्रूशियल है, उसको भी ध्यान में रखिए. मेरा ज़्यादातर मैं इक्वली डिवाइड करता था रफली. कभी कभी हो जाता था 60% टाइम मैथमेटिक्स को दे दिया, 40% जीएस को दे दिया. लेकिन अब जिस तरह का पैटर्न हो रहा है एग्जामिनेशन का, तो जीएस अपना वेटेज ज़्यादा रख रहा है. जीएस में काफ़ी मार्क्स आ रहे हैं, ऑप्शनल में भी आ रहे हैं, लेकिन पहले कुछ साल पहले ऐसा होता था कि मैथमेटिक्स में मार्क्स लाके लोग प्रॉपर आईएएस वाली रैंक ले आते थे, लेकिन अब ये थोड़ा मुश्किल है. तो सभी चीज़ों को बैलेंस करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, एक बैलेंस मार्कशीट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो उसके लिए आप आपकी जो एबिलिटी है उसके हिसाब से ज़रूरी है कि आप उन दोनों चीज़ों को बैलेंस कीजिए, सब चीज़ों को बैलेंस कीजिए. अगर आपके कुछ वीक एरियाज़ हैं उनको आप ज़्यादा टाइम दीजिए, अगर कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग एरियाज़ हैं उनको कम टाइम देके भी काम चल सकता है. कुछ ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं जिनको आपको कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ होना ही नहीं चाहिए, जो अगर आप सो के उठें भी और कोई सॉल्व करने को कहे तो आप कर सकें. जैसे लीनियर अलजेब्रा है एक ऐसा टॉपिक, मैं उनको डबल मार्क कर देता हूँ. लीनियर अलजेब्रा, कैलकुलस, एनालिटिक ज्योमेट्री, ओडीई एंड वेक्टर. डायनेमिक्स थोड़ा कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ हो सकता है, उसमें बस आपको एक क्वेश्चन सेट बनाना है और क्वेश्चन सेट में से क्वेश्चन आए एग्ज़ाम में तो आपको अटेम्प्ट करना है, नहीं तो आपको छोड़ना होगा, वरना वो टाइम खा जाएगा. और इधर मॉडल अलजेब्रा थोड़ा डिफ़िकल्ट है, तो मतलब इसमें थोड़ा कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ हो सकता है, लेकिन कोशिश कीजिए इसको अच्छे से करने का. ये क्योंकि अगर ये डिफ़िकल्ट टॉपिक है, लेकिन एक बार अगर इस पर कमांड हो गई तो आपका फेवरेट टॉपिक बन जाएगा. और रियल एनालिसिस आपको अच्छे से करना होगा, कॉम्प्लेक्स एनालिसिस करना होगा, लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग भी, पीडीई. इसमें न्यूमेरिकल एनालिसिस तो आपका पक्का होना ही चाहिए. कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग थोड़ी सी हो सकती हैं इश्यूज़. और इसके अलावा मैकेनिक्स और फ्लूइड डायनेमिक्स मतलब रिलेटिवली कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस, कॉस्ट बेनिफिट रेशियो इतना फेवरेबल नहीं है. तो जो मैंने डबल मार्क किए हैं ये टॉपिक्स आपको इस तरह करने हैं कि कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ ना हो. Mathematics is a very good subject, but yes, you have to know the reality behind it. Only few of the it's like the toppers that you see, it is like tip of the iceberg. Many of the people are not able to get good marks in mathematics. It is binary subject, either you get very good marks or get very poor marks. So you have to be realistic enough that only if you have good command over mathematics, then only you should opt for it. Otherwise you may refer to other subjects, particularly from the humanities background. So with this finally I'll wrap up my session. Thank you so much.